Alongside ranchers, mountain bikers, hunters, and backcountry campers, Wilderness Workshop has been working for 2 decades to protect the Thompson Divide. The Thompson Divide is an ecological gem. It's home to critical wildlife habitat for threatened lynx, native Colorado cutthroat trout, elk, bear, and mountain lions. The 250,000-acre Thompson Divide contains the largest aspen stand in Colorado and is home to some of the most sought-after hunting units in the West. The power of this place has united people from all walks of life. In the early 2000s, Wilderness Workshop discovered that 81 oil and gas leases had been issued across the Thompson Divide, many of them in violation of environmental laws. These oil and gas leases were an existential threat to the Thompson Divide. When oil and gas development occurs, wildlife habitat is degraded, roads and pipelines are built, habitat is fragmented, and water is polluted. Our community had a different vision for the landscape.
I'm Stacy Bernat, and I'm a 5th-generation Carbondale native. I was born and raised here. And I also served as an elected official as both a trustee and mayor from 2004 to 2016. I come from a long line of folks that utilize the Thompson Divide region through ranching and mining. The Thompson Divide Coalition formed around 2009 to bring various groups together for this common cause. It was a very unique period for Carbondale in many ways, in that the community, folks that didn't always agree with one another, came together. Ranchers that would argue over water allotments and who was irrigating when and what ditch came together. Mountain bikers, other recreationalists, anglers, hunters, and environmentalists all sat together for this common goal. And so as mayor, it was important to not just have that transparency and that engagement for our community, but then carry that will of the people forward and let those other decision makers know that it was truly important, why it was important, and why it was needed to have this collective voice of our community at the forefront of this issue. So as the awareness spread about the threat to this region with the leases, we knew as a community and as a region that we needed to do 2 things. We needed to figure out a way to have not just short-term but permanent protection of the Thompson Divide, and then in addition figure out how to deal with these leases that we felt were illegally granted. And that's really where the work then truly started to begin and get real.
I'm Bill Thales. I've been ranching on this land for a little over 50 years. A lot of this ranch was my wife's, Marge, her grandfather got in 1924. So we've been on this land for 100 years, trying to produce good food, but also trying to take care of the land and make it better. Every rancher in this valley relies on the public land grazing on National Forest Service leases. The land is just steep and erodible, rugged terrain, great for running cows on, but tough to build roads in and all the infrastructure that a full-blown gas development would have taken. The coalition came together with what everyone says is a bunch of strange bedfellows, and the town of Carbondale didn't want to become a gas town. The coalition worked on getting support from our local governments, municipalities and counties. We kept working with our representatives, and then Michael Bennett, our senator, got interested, and he's just been phenomenal because he saw what it meant to this valley, how unanimous the local support for it was. So lots of people made many trips to Washington. I went a couple of times, maybe 4 or 5 times, I think, to meet with senators, congressmen, talked to administration people about what we could do to get it, to get protection for the Thompson Divide.
The majority of these illegally issued leases were sold for the statutory minimum of $2 an acre. By contrast, leases in the center of the Appearance Basin brought more than $11,000 an acre.
The whole community is celebrating because the Secretary of Interior, Deb Haaland, signed a 20-year withdrawal of the leasing on the Thompson Divide. And while that's not permanent protection, it's a fantastic first step. And it gives us breathing room to keep working on a permanent solution. But in the meantime, this ground is protected for 20 years, and that's really exciting for everybody.
This is about the land. We need to leave it better than we found it. The land spoke to our community, and our community went to bat to protect it. We set aside our differences and worked for decades to protect this special place. Ultimately, this is about the wheels of power turning to benefit local people, wildlife, and the place they call home.